MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets.
In a case that could have wider implications for federal workers, as the justices weigh expanding the president's power to fire them. And the National Weather Service issued a rare, particularly dangerous situation warning for part of the Colorado Front Range, where hurricane-force winds and dry conditions have boosted the threat of wildfire. This is AP News.
Girls and boys in poverty around the world are dreaming of a better life, filled with dance, art, music, and knowledge. They dream of a brighter future with enough nutritious food to eat, a chance to learn and grow, to get an education, escape poverty, and do incredible things. Today, thanks to Children International and friends like you, such dreams are coming true. Together, we give children a chance to set their sights high and succeed in school and in life by ensuring that they have access to healthcare, education, life skills, and so much more so they can grow, thrive, and believe in themselves. Learn more about Children International and join us in our life-changing work at children.org today. Together, we can help end poverty for good.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refinedivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for some light snow tonight with a temp rising to 26, Saturday sunny with a temp falling to 16, and Sunday sunny with a high near 24. Cafe Latte's Bakery is a local favorite for fresh baked treats, cupcakes, and breads, all made without artificial ingredients. Because a Cafe Latte ingredients matter. Find them off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul, and for takeout or reservations, visit cafelatte.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And this is Casual Friday here on GhostBox Radio. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And thank you for allowing us to ease into the weekend with us as we, by this time next week, we will be done with Christmas. It'll be what they call Boxing Day, right? And it'll be all this leading up to, wrapping presents and stuff, it'll all be over. It'll all be over just very, very quickly. I hope you're all getting ready to do what you need to do and get it all going. And I don't know. It always comes by so fast. December just zooms by. Do you all find that? We got a lot of stuff going on here tonight that we want to talk about here. Before we go any further, I do want to quickly just say the question of the week tonight is, what is the silliest Christmas gift you've ever received? I would love if you could tell me what the silliest Christmas gift you ever received was, because honestly, we didn't really get a lot of answers today, which actually surprises me, because I know people get a lot of weird stuff, and I'd be very curious to know. I was actually trying to struggle to think what I got. It's been so weird, and I don't know if I really got a whole lot. I also want to, our favorite subject that we talk about here quite a bit. I want to give an update about Jason Hawes and the whole Conjuring thing, but we got something really different happening here this week, very local. And we talk about Haunt Local. That's something I came up with, Haunt Local. It's Dave Schrader buying the Palmer House. And we're going to talk about that as well, because it's very interesting for all of us who do, local paranormal events, or just like to visit the local paranormal locations. This is a very interesting development. And I would love to hear what you all think about it. I will give my 2 cents, which, honestly is meaningless. I mean, who cares really what I think? I mean, it's, what's done is done. I mean, it's just somebody else, just like with the Conjuring stuff. I'm just putting forward an opinion, but it doesn't really matter. But since I do this little radio show, I figured if I have an opinion, I might as well share it. So as we get to Christmas, though, and, occasionally I like to talk about food. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I'm the last maybe 3-4 years. This will be my 4th year, I think, actually. I have cooked prime rib, and I don't have like a family. I don't have a wife or girlfriend or kids or anything like that, but I love to cook, and I love prime rib. And so I got myself a prime rib, and I decided, because the last few years I've been getting them from a regular grocery store, because they've been having like deals on them and stuff. And what I've noticed about that very much so is simply that it's kind of gristly. It's kind of a gristly sort of taste to it and stuff. And I just like it's fine. It's cooked well. I mean, I think it tastes good, but it's just kind of gristly, and it's like there has to be better. I mean, better quality meat, that sort of thing. So this year I'm going and I'm trying Brothers Butchers in Maple Grove, who I've been going to for years, and this is something that's going to be more expensive, which is always great, because sometimes I feel like I act like I get paid a lot, and I don't. And act like that I have money, and I don't. But so I have that, and I'm going to pick it up on the 23rd. I'm very excited to bring a little baby home, baby of ribeye meat, and I'm going to be doing what they call the Method X of prime rib. And what that means, very simply, is that you do all your intense cooking for the first 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the weight of your meat, of your prime rib. And then from there, you don't open the oven, and you let it sit in the oven for, I don't know, 2.5 hours, something like that. And by the time it's done, it should be exactly what you want it to be at. And so I've done the last few years, and I love rare meat. Okay. I love my prime rib being rare, but I've, last couple of years, I'm like, it does seem, a little bit rarer than even maybe I want it to be. So I just ordered, and this isn't sponsored. I just ordered one, though. One of those meter thermometers that you put into your prime rib. And I mean, I can use it for all sorts of things. And it will tell me the temperature via the interweb. and from there I can see like what the internal temperature of it is, so I know when to take it out, when I'm at, because I believe with the Method X, when I take it out, I don't need to actually rest it because the oven had been off for about 2 hours prior to that, and it's just been cooking from the heat inside the oven because you don't open up the door. I do that all the time for like especially when I do on the grill filet mignons, little medallions. You sear it on one part of the grill that's really hot, and you remove it from the hot part. You put it in a cool section on the other side. You shut the grill, and basically, how many ounces that filet mignon is how long you keep it in the grill. Say it's like a 6-ounce filet mignon. You keep it on the cold, away from the heat for 6 minutes or whatever. And then from there, you have this very perfectly cooked, if you like medium rare, a very perfectly cooked piece of filet mignon. So it's the same sort of thing with the prime rib. So I'm going to try it with a thermometer. I've been wanting one for a while. And I realized they're not as expensive as I thought they were. I think they've gone down in price. I think this one was like $66. Watch it. So it's so cheap. It's much cheaper because it actually doesn't tell you the temperature anywhere. But no, I mean, that's the plan, at least, is to do it this way. And then from there, it should tell me on my phone if I don't, smash that with a hammer anytime soon, because that's been getting on my nerves as well. It'll tell me what the temperature is. So I at least know, okay, we're at the 2.5 hours, but it's still not quite there. Maybe I'll leave it in and see if that makes a difference, that sort of thing. But I really love to put chicken on the grill, like whole chickens. And that will be great to get the temperature for the chicken as well. Very exciting. It's very exciting over here at the moment, as you can imagine. Gray Duck Paranormal says in the comments, prime rib is so good, we'll be right over. Well, don't come over till Christmas. I mean, I'm not going to be doing this until then. So, you're going to have days to wait. And quite frankly, no one needs to come to my house. So there is that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. I always love doing it. My roommate, who I rent out the basement to, I asked him if he wanted some, once I make, because I'm getting like a 3-pound prime rib. I'm not going to eat it all in one night, but in the past, he's taken part. We've had a little Christmas meal together, and I asked him, and I know it's not his favorite cut, but he said to me, because I said, would you like some of this here? And you're like, no, I prefer steak. Well, prime rib is steak. Prime rib is ribeye, generally ribeye. Not always, but generally ribeye, which is steak. So, sometimes people say stuff, and I know that they don't quite have it right, but I start to question myself. Like, it's not? What is it then? It's like, what has it been all these years? I always thought it was been steak, so, but no, it is. It still is. It always has been. And I'm really excited for it. Much more so. And I did the thing on YouTube. I watch videos on YouTube all the time, and I watched like a couple about prime rib, and now that's all that's in my YouTube feed is prime rib, prep, making videos, eating them, that sort of thing. And I'm watching all of it. There isn't any of it that I'm like watching and I'm like, I don't need to watch this. This isn't, I don't care. No, I'm watching everything. And it just keeps making me more and more and more hungry for it. So I hope I get it right. I'm hoping to do some kind of potato with it or something. We'll see. We're still a couple days away. Tonight, I do not have Adam with me tonight. But so I needed to transfer some audio files over to my mixer because I didn't have the Casual Friday music, which is so important to this episode. So I put it over, it took, because of my mixer, it took an obscene amount of time to get that all figured out. I don't know why, but it did. and I've never had this sort of problem before, but it took a long time and it was very annoying. But while it was on, I had my headphones on, and Puff, my cat, is over at the front of my quote studio. And as I may have mentioned before, they're French doors to the studio. So she's just sitting there, and all of a sudden she gets very alert, and she sits up and she's staring out into the other room pretty intently. And I thought to myself, well, my friend who rents my basement, he's out tonight. He's out who's over at doing some sort of theater show, I think tonight, over at the Ritz. He must be home. I mean, it's a little bit early, but he must be home. So I am like, okay, let's I get through all my audio stuff, and she settles down. I'm like, okay, I'm just curious, is he home or not? So I get up, I go to the garage to see if his car is in the garage, and it isn't. He's not home. So then that begs the question, what was going on? There's something, I mean, when an animal gets kind of intent about something, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what on earth? The thing I worry about more, if it's say that it's like some kind of spirit situation, that's fine. I'm happy with that. What it's more like, though, is I just want to make sure that it's not like some kind of like living person, breaking in or something. And I thought to myself, well, that's just great. I have headphones on. I can't hear anything other than the same piece of music over and over and over again that I'm trying to get onto my mixer. And so I just like, my goodness. And she's not happy with me because once again, I'm taking what I thought was my chair, and I'm getting her off my chair so that I can do this show. But apparently, as we've already figured out, this is not my chair any longer, and I am a monster for trying to get her off the chair so I can do this show. So that has now become, as I mentioned a couple days ago, the new routine in my life, which is that's unfortunate. But I have been seeing, because when Puff walks around, and like I mentioned before, when I look out into the quote studio, looking out into my family room, you can often see her tail, kind of like a shark fin, just kind of, it's moving and stuff. And you always see, because she always has it upright. But there's been times this week that I have seen something move out there while I'm doing the show, and I'll be like, that must be Puff, but Puff will be at my feet. So there's been some kind of activity. I've heard some audible stuff this week as well, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Once again, I'm not bothered by it at all. It's just more like I'm curious what it is. And I haven't really stopped and asked, funny enough. That's very much unlike me, but that's just been kind of how it has been. And kind of wondering if there's something that's happened that has tweaked up the possible energy here that has made some more spirits come in. I mean, I haven't really done anything in here in a long time, so it's kind of cool. There doesn't seem to be anything that is of any kind of malevolent sort of thing at all. It just seems like there's just something else here, which is always kind of interesting. I think I always find that very pretty incredible. Now, Grey Duck Paranormal said, going back to the prime rib, and as one should, quite frankly, Grey Duck Paranormal says, do you make some Jew with it too? Gosh, I'm hungry now. I've been hungry for weeks since I decided to do this. Yeah, of course I do. I mean, what kind of monster do you think I am, quite frankly? Of course I'm going to do some Jew with a prime rib. I mean, come on. Yeah. I have to remind myself how to make it again. But I believe it's just with the drippings, and get some beef broth and some flour and some pepper. And I think I'm going to try to do some mashed potatoes and stuff with it as well. I mean, gosh, come on, right? For all of this in the Twin Cities, I've said this before, and you all know I'm starting this food show next year. Minnesota Bites. I think we need to get people together and go and maybe create some kind of, I don't want to say club, I don't want it to be formal, but some sort of thing where we all get together once in a while and we go to some good places to eat. I don't mean expensive, but I mean good places. Obviously, like we've been talking about, let's do a trip to Mavericks. We have a lot of places for Eat Local Minnesota, but I mean, even beyond that. And, we could really, I think we could have a lot of fun with that. So let's talk about that. That's a 2026 situation, though, isn't it? Why don't we go ahead and take our first break? When we come back, let's get the question of the week. I haven't seen anyone put in an answer for it yet. What's the silliest Christmas gift that you've received? Love to hear it. Love to hear about anything else on your mind. We got a lot to get to. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. 'Tis the season. Instead of cramming into the family car to hunt for holiday lights, let Minneapolis Trolley Tours do the driving. Join us for the enchanting Merry and Bright Christmas Light Tour, where we glide through a winter wonderland filled with twinkling lights, festive decor, and plenty of holiday cheer. This uplifting experience wraps you into the holiday magic from the comfort of a cozy, festively decorated, climate-controlled trolley. You'll enjoy dazzling light displays, scenic routes only our trolleys can access, and live narration, never pre-recorded, that brings the sights to life. There are multiple photo stops perfect for holiday cards and memory making with the family and friends. Before or after the tour, browse the holiday market inside the historic Pillsbury Club, featuring handcrafted gifts, artisan goods, and locally made treasures. The perfect place to find something special for everyone on your list. Tours depart from the Pillsbury Club. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
Lynette in the comments asked the question, what color is Puff? Is Crybaby a color? No, she is black and white. Very, very affectionate little meow. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Very lucky to have her. I mentioned that before. And it's always amazes me that connection you can have with an animal, right? That you can have that, like, where I'm laying on my side, she will just lay her tummy on my arm that is like, up, and both of her arms are hanging down on either side of my body, and her head is right next to mine. And it's like, my gosh, how incredible. Just unbelievable. And it's just what a blessing, quite frankly. She is absolutely just a little affectionate love bug. Before we get back into it, I just want to quickly say, if you haven't heard, Refined Divine has set up information about the cruise that's going to be happening next year. It's going to be incredible, along with everything else, including making sure to maybe do some gift certificates for readings for loved ones for next year, especially if you know that they love to get readings or they love to get readings from Refined Divine. Please go to refineddivinepsychic.com and get some kind of gift certificate, or reach out to them and see what makes sense. 'Tis the season, and this is a gift that you know that your loved ones are going to love. I also want to quickly bring up that on January 10th in 2026, I am going to be out in Wabasha, Minnesota, over at the Anderson House for the Para Fair. It's been going on now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And that's January 10th. Admission is $5. I'm going to have a table there where I will be doing my thing. I'm going to be speaking. But the good news is that there's a lot of other people that are going to be there that are part of the paranormal field, paranormal speakers and presenters, tarot readers, Reiki practitioners, local vendors. And then you also get to check out this beautiful hotel that it's just so wonderful. And we talk about it, the whole basically Hunt Local. And it's just such a wonderful thing. And we're going to be talking about that here in a couple minutes as well. So we're doing that. Then once again, that's January 10th. It seems a ways off. It's going to be here by next weekend. So make plans and figure out what you need to do to get out there, because it's a lot of people out there that if you like the paranormal, you're going to be able to see a lot of different people with a lot of different ideas and ways of doing things. And that is what the paranormal field is all about, is no one should be doing everything the same way. So let's just leave it at that. Let's get to question of the week. I swear there is something with this question that is like just really big in my mind, that I got something that has really scratched my head, but I don't recall it off the top of my head. But the question is for this week: what is the silliest Christmas gift you've ever received? Now, I remember throughout my entire life, and this is me being sad sack, quite frankly, the worst thing that you could ever take part in as a child is like a secret Santa. And so I have never done well with that sort of thing on multiple levels, and I've made a complete fool of myself one of the times. So let's share that. So first of all, the secret Santa would be like, people would give each other gifts and stuff, and I'd be maybe maybe it's going to be like maybe second grade even, or something like that, and all these gifts, and people are opening up their gifts, and it's like amazing things. And I open up mine, and it's a Minnesota Vikings cap. And now like a winter cap, okay, with a little fuzzy thing on top, which is fine. But it was made for an infant, okay? I'm in second grade and it's not fitting me. What on earth? It was clearly a regift. I mean, nobody has a head that size in the class. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Oddly, someone next to me, she opens up this big old box. It's like a full-size marionette. It's just this big, and people around me, all these like cool things. And I have, and I think, and I'm not kidding when I say this kind of opened up a flood of memories. I think what happened was the little ball on top like immediately fell off. And I'm just like, this is a piece of crap. And just being like, whatever. And everyone's having these great times. And I have this absolute regifted reject that, and as second grade, don't give me this, well, you shouldn't worry about, the fact it's a gift. It's a thought that counts. Come on. I'm in second grade, You're supposed to expect stuff like that to happen. Like to have some, you're going to be, your expectations are bigger. Whatever. And I remember the hat would have fit the marionette's head. Let's just put it that way. So I bring it home, and my dad is like, "Oh my gosh, what are you complaining about?" And whatever. And he puts the hat on his head, like it doesn't fit, and it like bounces off his head, like it's like spring loaded off his head. Like, yeah, how did that work out for you? Moving forward to like 5th or 6th grade. And this is now the first one. If you're like, you're a bit of an ass about that. Well, this one I am an ass about. And that's I've always felt bad about it. But the good news is I learned a very important lesson that day. So my Secret Santa kept giving me like homemade baked goods, which if it was now, I'd be like, yes, please. And they were like chocolate chip cookies and stuff. And this is embarrassing to tell. I can't even believe I'm saying this because this is not me in a good light at all. You're 5th grade and you're just like, ooh, I want, material things, which is so ridiculous, but it is what it is. And I kept getting like baked goods, and I'm just like, oh man, once again, everyone else is receiving all this cool stuff and I'm getting cookies, and someone comes up to me and she's just like, so what, how's your Secret Santa going? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have I'm getting cookies, you can get cookies at a store. Everyone else is getting all this cool stuff. I'm getting cookies. And, I just I'm sure I didn't stop complaining about it. Knowing me, I kept going. And she said to me, I'm your Secret Santa. And, it's, you have that humble pie moment, but it isn't until sadly a little bit later that you realize and you think about how massively hurtful that must have been to her to hear that, because I think she was making the stuff as well. And how massively, just horrible. I still feel horrible about it. And but it is what it is. And once again, I had learned an incredible lesson that day. Sometimes you learn the lessons the really hard way. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can learn it through osmosis of seeing somebody else go through it. This is one that I had learned the hard way. And you could say sorry to her, and I did. I mean, come on, though. Who's gonna fall? It's like, even if I meant it, it was more of a sort of a reflex apology, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And it's just one of those things, and it just really, really embarrassing. And there was, I'm sure it was massively hurtful for her. And yet, we did remain friends for quite a few years afterwards. And we kind of fell apart from talking about, to each other about maybe 3-4 years ago. But I think about her often. A very nice person. And I just, thought, my gosh, she still wants to be friends with me after that. Shows what kind of person she is, right? Very nice. So the question of the week, is not how to make a complete fool of yourself like I just went through. But the question is, what is the silliest Christmas gift you ever received? Gray Duck Paranormal says the most strange gift I got was the back of an old seat from the Metrodome. I'm a big Twins fan, but even with that, it was a bit odd. Well, I think that's pretty cool. And you didn't have to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan just to take it either. You probably got it more legitimately than that when they took a bunch of our seats from the U.S. Bank Stadium when we hosted the Super Bowl here a number of years back. Let's see. Refined Divine, hello, says, worst gift ever, a box of cleaning supplies. Indeed. No, I mean, that's the worst, is when you get stuff like, especially stuff that you're not really asking for, and people are like, we think you need this. You're like, all right, thanks. But let's see here. Ben says a pair of clown shoes. Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's funny. Like, what do you want me to do with these? That's pretty good. Let's see here. Shar. Oh gosh. Shar. My former mother-in-law gave me a turkey baster. She said she noticed I didn't have one. However, opening in front of the entire family, the other reason I may need one was what was implied from everyone. Oh my God. That must have been fantastic. Oh my God. God, yeah, that's something. Jill says, I got my high school crush for Secret Santa, and I remember leaving him hidden small notes all week to hint who I was. And we ended up together after for years, my best friend forever. See, well, that's nice. See, Christmas can do good things once in a while. That's very nice. That's a very sweet story. And then she adds, my silliest was a sweater from my mother-in-law, looked thrifted, was brown and scarfy, but I felt I looked like a lion. I still wore it to show gratitude. Oh, that's so nice. I did get a shirt once, and I'm painting myself as a real winner over here tonight. I remember getting a shirt at Christmas, and it just had these. Do you ever watch Star Trek: The Next Generation? And Wesley Crusher, before he started using a Starfleet uniform, he had this shirt, and it had these like this multitude of colors that like were at the top part of the shirt and kind of went around. Well, my mom got me one of those, like not specifically one of those, but it seemed like it was one of those. And I was just like, I opened it up, and listen, we know what we want to wear. I think there's very few of us that's like, oh, I'll give this a shot if it's really way off the spectrum of our wardrobe. And I picked it up, and obviously, well, maybe not so obvious with the stories I've been telling, but years later, obviously, I would only do this around people that I trusted to understand, this is light humor as well. But I look at her, and she starts laughing because you can see the look at my face of like the puzzlement of why would you get me something like this? And I'm just like, I just looked at her and I just shook my head. I said, no, it's just as simple as that. I looked at the shirt, looked at her, no. And we just all started laughing, and we had a really good time about it. It makes me laugh, but yeah, I never wore that. My sister got me something once that made me look like a bumblebee. I didn't, I'm not about that either. Dave's weirdest gift. This is from Refined Divine. Dave's weirdest gift was a gym membership. Anyway, let's see here. Listen, a walking track membership would be good for me, quite frankly. I'm just not going to work out ever. Also added, Dave also has gotten loads of Packers clothes when people find out he loves sports. Well, that's okay, because clothes do burn if you need like a source of kindling. So that works out just fine. So we got that taken care of. Or you can, give it to the homeless or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of good uses for Packers clothing, and wearing it is not one of them, but you can certainly do a lot of interesting things with them as well. So like we talked about, there is big news in the Twin Cities paranormal community, one that I don't think any of us were necessarily expecting. And what does that mean for us? Let's talk about it. When we come back, I want to talk about the news that we got this week that Dave Schrader has bought the Palmer House in Sauk Center, Minnesota. Also, a quick update about our good friend Jason Haas with the Conjuring House. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. 'Tis the season. Instead of cramming into the family car to hunt for holiday lights, let Minneapolis Trolley Tours do the driving. Join us for the enchanting Merry and Bright Christmas Light Tour, where we glide through a winter wonderland filled with twinkling lights, festive decor, and plenty of holiday cheer. This uplifting experience wraps you into the holiday magic from the comfort of a cozy, festively decorated, climate-controlled trolley. You'll enjoy dazzling light displays, scenic routes only our trolleys can access, and live narration, never pre-recorded, that brings the sights to life. There are multiple photo stops perfect for holiday cards and memory making with family and friends. Before or after the tour, browse the holiday market inside the historic Pillsbury Club, featuring handcrafted gifts, artisan goods, and locally made treasures. The perfect place to find something special for everyone on your list. Tours depart from the Pillsbury Club. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And it is Casual Friday here on GhostBox Radio. Thank you very much for spending time with us as we ease into the weekend, the last Friday before Christmas. Join me Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun, as originally I was going to have another guest on, but she's been feeling under the weather, so we're going to give her some time to recover. I'm going to do a Just Greg on Monday, where I'm going to talk a little bit about a big, what really is big around the world, but not so big in the U.S. when it comes to Christmas, and that is ghost stories for Christmas, because it's super big in the UK, and here it's really more about the Hallmark movies. But I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk a little bit about where all that came from, but I also want to hear from you all if there's anything that you find to be really a great ghost story for Christmas, because really Christmas does lead to that quite a bit. On Tuesday, we're going to have psychic medium Refined Divine. She's going to talk to us, going to share some experiences with her. I don't know exactly what it is yet. It's so funny because I sent her a note, and I know she's listening. Sent her a note a couple days ago. Did you have your experiences figured out for Tuesday? And she goes, yes. And that's where I would have thought she's going to tell me what it is, but that was the end of the conversation for the night. So we're all in the dark together, but we'll find out Tuesday, if not beforehand. Wednesday is Christmas Eve. What we're going to do is we're going to do some replays, but we're going to lighten the load. It's not really going to be about demons over the next couple days. The 24th, we're going to rerun an episode about film restoration, about the restoration of White Christmas. The podcast Perf Damage will be joining us. On Christmas Day, we're going to be rerunning an episode that had guest Tim Rayborn in, talking about the Scary Book of Christmas Lore. It's a great episode. And then on Friday the 26th, we'll be rerunning my conversation with the folks that do the Star Trek podcast and Glorious Trexperts. It's really a lot of fun, and hopefully you can join in on that as well. Also, Deb, I see that you're listening, can you confirm with me, do you have any events coming up prior to January 3rd that we should talk about. Otherwise, if not, Refined Divine Holistic Expo is going to kick off in January, and January 3rd, Saturday, January 3rd at Marshfield, Wisconsin. Once again, please go to Refined Divine on Facebook and follow, like, all that stuff. When I just did that, I just hit my other monitor and it nearly went out. What is wrong with me today? I'm technically a disaster, quite frankly. Before we get to some of the other news, Lynette had posted this about her silliest, or it doesn't sound silly, quite frankly. I was 6. My great aunt gave me a troll doll. Yeah, that's a good start. She gave me a troll doll. It was hideous, and I cried as soon as I opened the box and saw it. I did apologize to her because my grandma made me. I like that. It was like, because I was forced to. After I was done crying, she had a wonderful taste in gift giving, and this was the one and only time she didn't give a wonderful gift to me. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? And then have that like set on a shelf or something staring at you all night? Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for the memory, Lynette. That is incredible. So one of the things that we found out this week is that there's been a lot of paranormal celebrities. They're buying up properties. I mean, and I don't want to sound harsh, but it start to wonder, like, because no one's making shows anymore, that they need to do something. And once again, I don't mean to sound harsh, but they need to do something to stay relevant. And I'm going to be honest, if my show ever goes away, that's the end of me. You're not going to hear from me again, because I'm not going to try to cling on to any kind of popularity. That's for sure. Not that I have any to begin with. But Dave Schrader, local to the Twin Cities, used to do Darkness Radio. Tim Dennis has done a number of shows, and he does all sorts of events around the country, if not the world. Apparently this week, it's not apparently, it's a fact, he bought the Palmer House from Kelly, who has had it for a number of years. We don't know any details yet, nor do we, I mean, I'm not sure if some details are really necessary for us to know, other than the fact that he bought it. And from there, a lot of good can come from this. And I hope it does. But I want to kind of juxtaposition here a little bit, okay, if I may. So we found out that, and these are the rules according to GhostBox Radio. It's more of a conjecture, folks. Do not, nothing I'm saying here is legally binding, or that I'm a lawyer or have any idea about anything, okay? So I want to make sure, and I make sure that that's very clear, because these are just talking points, thinking out loud, stuff that you may agree with or you may not agree with. But as we've been doing over the past really 2 months, since the start of October, we've been talking about Jason Haas and his desire via Andrea Perron to buy the Conjuring house. And some of the stuff that we have learned over the course of the last week or so is that there is a lawsuit against Jason Haas regarding the fact that the woman who owned the house is not that Herster says that she is not of sound mind and body to have made the deal that she did with Jason. And there's a lot of things there that I'm very confused about still. And I think that it's a good point to kind of lolly back and forth between what this situation is and the Dave Schrader and the Palmer House situation is. Okay, if you would indulge me for a couple minutes, please. And where I start with that is the fact that you know that I have been having a hard time with understanding the purpose of the GoFundMe piece to it. And so what looks like that has happened, and I want to make sure that I have got this right. On October 9th, the planned foreclosure sale auction of the Conjuring house was canceled due to an advance mortgage sale, effectively pulling the property off the Halloween auction block. Okay. Now, that is why on October 8th and 9th, the property plan Halloween foreclosure auction was canceled because Needham Bank sold the underlying mortgage loan to an unidentified buyer before the October 31st auction could take place. The sale of the mortgage effectively voided the scheduled complete auction and widely publicized. Now, what I understood to happen was that it basically that Nunez, who has the house, she had made a deal with Jason Haas on October 9th, and that let's see, because that's what the lawsuit is, recently filed, Rhode Island State Court. Elizabeth Greenhalgh says that her sister, the current owner, Jacqueline Nunez, via her company Balefire LLC, lacked the legal capacity to enter into a sales agreement. The complaint names Jason Haas as the defendant, alleging he involved in a deal to acquire the property through a limited power of attorney Nunez gave to a third party. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, October 9th. So what I want to understand is, I feel like that, and I don't know this could be completely wrong. We don't know behind the scenes. I can talk about it. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not saying what I'm saying is right. What I'm saying is theory, conjecture, and could be way off base. But, I feel like that the sale of the house could have been figured out prior to the start of the GoFundMe. And that even still, October 9th, when all this went down, the GoFundMe was still going. The GoFundMe is still going today. So to me, that is an area of interest. Is what Jason's doing illegal? No, it is not. Is it ethical? That is a gray area. The thing is that you have a lot of people who have donated, and they've donated small amounts. And even like $100, it's not that big when you grand scheme of the thing. So it's more than likely a lot of these people donated money that they immediately wrote off because they want to help a paranormal celebrity. But to me, where it becomes a questionable act, and I've been saying this, is that he's doing a GoFundMe. Movement has been made, aggressive movement had been made to acquire this property probably before the GoFundMe started. Like the GoFundMe to me almost feels like I'm going to see what I can get out of this. And I know that my followers will come through. I don't know. Some of you might be listening and just be like, you are wrong. You are so wrong about this. It could be. In fact, today, just a couple hours ago, Jason had posted on his page, the level of confidence behind some of the incorrect information is almost admirable. I assume my involvement in Hoffa and JFK drops any day now. And I get it. But it just seems, all this just seems very sort of weird. And, we have big, not paranormal names, but big companies like owning, like the Lizzie Borden, Velisca, Matt Rife with getting the Warren property. It's starting to become like, okay, well, we can't do TV anymore. What's the next stage? And that's always the thing that I get back to when it comes to the Jason Haas stuff is you just got a $350,000 down payment, and really you haven't given any sort of like, and this is what you all are going to get in return. It's impossible to give these people anything in return because there's so many of them. So it literally is like, and it's like, well, there needs to be a lot of money that needs to go through for fixing and stuff. if you're going to buy property, you should have that figured out yourself. I really think this is using fans and using their admiration of you to make it an easier financial deal for you. You've all heard me talk about this before. So now we go over to the Dave Schrader situation at the Palmer House. And what, about that is that it all happened behind the scenes. It just, a transaction took place. A private transaction took place to somebody who, first of all, Jason is not at the Conjuring House much. Matter of fact, he started a whole tirade against Jacqueline Nunez and a restraining order against her. And now they're working together. Okay. All right. Interesting. Dave Schrader has been at the Palmer House hundreds of times. I'm sure you can say hundreds of times, doing a lot of different events there and stuff. So this isn't like out of nowhere he suddenly has interest in this property. He's had interest in this property, as long as I've known him. Once again, this is the rules by Greg, whether or not they make sense or whatever else. If Kelly, who previously owned the property, if she put out a GoFundMe and said, listen, I need help. We need to kind of get this place up to date. You all know I've been around or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you put the money, like you do a GoFundMe then, to me, I think that's reasonable because she's part of the paranormal community and so is the Palmer. And Dave did not buy this place by like, help me get to the Palmer because I really would like to have it. Let's start a GoFundMe. So he didn't do that, and that's great. I really appreciate it. Where my eyebrow would be raised, though, is he gets announced as the new owner, and he has basically he's announced as a new owner, and he's bought the place. I better not see a GoFundMe at this point being like, yeah, I looked at it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. You can help me, because that should have been taken care of beforehand. And that's where I stand with that right now, is that it seems like, to me from the outside, it looks like this seems like not that anyone needs my approval, but it seems like that transaction is the way that you should do it. Not this paradrama over at the Conjuring House, which I'm sorry, that to me seems very, very messy. And I think it's just going to get messier as time goes on. My dear friends, I have shows next week. We have 2 new shows next week, but this is my last Friday of 2025. I just want to say, everyone, once again, as always, thank you so much for supporting me throughout the year. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for listening. I hope sincerely you all have a great holiday season. I'm going to be back with new episodes on January 5th, but also next Monday and Tuesday as well. Have a happy Christmas, and we'll talk later.